All right, so I'm gonna see how this goes. Still experimenting. I think this is 4 years into doing this, but still figuring it out. Uh, this is my reaction to all 14 roller coasters at Hersheypark. This was not my intention to do all 14. Um, I planned on just riding a few and having some food and checking out some entertainment, doing some shopping, and kind of making an easy day. I didn't want to overdo it with a concert the next day. Um, but because I prioritized the most intimidating and the ones with the longest lines in the beginning, at some point I started accelerating the rate at which I was knocking them out and realized that I actually could do this. And at the same time, the ones that were left were less intimidating, and I kind of had gotten over it, just like, all right, I've done some extreme stuff. I'm not scared of anything today. Uh, you will hear me talk a little bit about, fear of heights. It's not rational like any phobia. I've climbed to the top of a mast on an aircraft carrier, and was fine, and I have done things at much lower heights that just freak me out. And so anyway, you'll hear me talk a little bit about that. I also comment a lot on the roughness. I do get migraines, and the kind of jarring motion. I don't care about extreme G's or anything like that, but just violently being battered around. I don't really care for that. So we'll talk about that. Two corrections ahead of time. The information I got on the heights of the roller coasters came from a kid who was very enthusiastic about coasters, and he told me that there was some dispute over heights, but that Sky Rush was a couple of feet taller than Candemonium. What I found out is Candemonium is the tallest and the fastest, 76 miles an hour. And he was comparing the drop of one and the actual height of the other. But they are within about 6 feet on both the height and the drop. So pretty close. Anyway, that was an error. I also said that the Comet was 100 years old. It's actually 80. It was built in 46. Trailblazer is the second oldest still. So with that, I'm gonna drop into this, and you will catch some images, maybe a few snippets of the coasters themselves, but mainly focusing on my reactions as soon as I could get them after the rides. And maybe as a bonus feature at the end, I will throw in that amazing hot dog. Just for reference, showing that first climb and 97-degree drop and the cars. All right, so I wanted to do Fahrenheit because it has a Norwegian loop, or a couple of them, and there's only like 3 coasters that have that. But also, I'm not a fan of heights or steep drops, and at 97 degrees and falling fast, that refers to the angle of that first drop. It is beyond a vertical drop, so really steep. You're kind of like actually hanging, and so yeah, the whole part going up and down that first part was terrifying to me. But after that, it was a blast. It is super fast. It never slows down. Constant looping, twisting. Not terribly rough. Not as smooth as the Bollinger coasters, but for an Intamin, it's not too bad. I don't think I'll do it again. I've done it. It was fun. I had the experience. But going on to find something else. So Storm Rider, serious launch coasters, like 0 to 72 in 2 seconds. That acceleration was like nothing I've ever experienced. Beyond that, I think the ride was kind of fun. Again, a lot of twists and turns, but a little jarring at places. And I can only take so much of that before I get a headache. So glad that I did it while I was at this dead end in the park. But I hear the lines just get longer as the day goes on, so I'm going to have to prioritize. I think I'm heading for the Great Bend. Although the video doesn't do it justice, I did want to do these 2 clips to to show the actual 0-72 launch, as well as mentioned that they make a big fuss about emptying your pockets and using the lockers. All right, I just came off the Great Bear. That is a B&M Bollinger Emaillard hanging coaster, kind of like Alpengeist. Not sure which one is older, but I felt like it was a little bit rougher than Alpengeist, and it's hard to say because it's been years since I've ridden it, but also maybe a little more extreme, so it was fun. A lot of empty seats on some of these because people are coming in pairs or fours or whatever. This one was especially that because it had rows of four, so groups of three weren't getting split up. It's helped me a couple of times though, because I've been able to jump a little bit ahead where they needed just one, and in this case there were three kids in front of me, so I got to ride with them. The youngest, this little boy, was, when he found out I was with them, he was so excited he high-fived me. So, I don't know. Anyway, I did enjoy that one, but everybody is telling me Wildcat's Revenge, which is a hybrid. They had the old Wildcat wooden coaster, and they basically tore the track out and they built a steel coaster leaving the wooden frame in place, and so they call it a hybrid. I think it's just a steel coaster just dressed up, but that was done, I think, 3 years ago, and everybody's telling me it's either their favorite or it's tied for their favorite. So I think I'm going to try to do that, weather permitting. It looks like there may be some rain coming in, but I don't think it's going to last all afternoon. But I'm loving the fact that the storm's been close because we've had lots of cloud cover. Also getting hungry, but I don't want to miss the opportunity here. And just a couple of shots of the cars and the overhead rail, as well as this interesting way that they did the lockers for the personal items, that they had that door that slides back and forth. So you have two cars running and they'll slide it so that, you know, this left side is for the one you're on. They'll slide it over there so that the other people don't have access to it on theirs. It was an interesting system. They had something different on every ride. Okay, Wildcat's Revenge. A little bit of a delayed reaction here. I can't do it like straight off the ride because they're really hardcore on this one about emptying your pockets, and you have the electronic lockers all the way at the bottom. So I ended up running back twice to these lockers. Then we had a mechanical delay, whatever. But then when you go to offload, you have to like stop before the station, so you're sitting there kind of calming down and whatever. So anyway, I have to jump on the bandwagon and say this was the best. I was surprised that a hybrid coaster, number one, the smoothness, not to say that it was like gentle, but like the jarring, like concussion type movement wasn't there. Also, surprisingly, incredible airtime, and I can do without it. Apollo's Chariot, I never liked it because it just felt like it was all airtime and, you know, big deal. But this, they really engineered it. Like a lot of places where it was sustained airtime, like you were just floating. And then some places toward the end where they've got this really good restraint, like gets you multiple places on your leg and your hips and whatever. And toward the end, the negative G's were so much that like all my weight was up against it, like a little bit uncomfortable even. So I think maybe that's the reason for the getting rid of the stuff in your pockets. Not that you're going to lose it, although there were a lot of negative G's. I've got deep jean pockets, they're not that loose. I don't think anything would have flown out, especially anything in my back pocket. But that could have hurt if there was anything solid or with sharp edges coming up against that thigh restraint. I just wish, I mean, everywhere here they had these signs about leaving you loose articles in the lockers and that you can lose your place in line.
but they enforce it differently based on how much they mean it and how much it matters. And I wish there was a way they would let you know, like, this ride, absolutely nothing. No coins, no ink pen, no sunglasses, no nothing. And other rides, like, we recommend empty your pockets and we insist nothing loose on your face. I don't know. But anyways, of the ones I've ridden, this is by far the best. It's one that I would probably ride again, if not for all the inconvenience of an electronic locker and all that. But see what else I can find while I'm here. All right, I think that was called the Laugh Tracks. Yeah, Laugh Tracks. It was kind of a tribute to Funhouse. Some cool glow-in-the-dark decorations. 4-person car, 2 facing each way. Very smooth. Lots of little hills and twists, and it's indoors, the whole thing, including the line. So it's a slow-moving line, so it took like 45 minutes. But it was all in the air conditioning, which is great. But anyway, yeah, the car 2 facing each way, but then the car spins at different points. So yeah, you're never really facing the wrong way for the whole ride. Yeah, there was nothing extreme or crazy about it, but I kind of thought that was fun. I would definitely do that one again, and it seems very kid-friendly. All right, coming off of, I think it's called the Lightning Racer. At this point, I'm not even planning anymore. I'm just walking around, seeing what I see and what the wait time is. This one had absolutely no wait unless you wanted to be in the very front row. I was in the back of the front car and just no wait. When they said racing coaster, I thought of something like what used to be called the Rebel Yell. I think it's now called the Racer 75, where they were just mirrored tracks, 2 running side by side. Actually, for a while they ran one of them backwards. But anyway, this was not that. There were 2 that started off side by side, and we passed each other multiple times, but it was like intertwining. We'd be on the left, they'd be on the right, and then we would like twist over each other. At one point we looped in the opposite direction, so and at times we were ahead or they were ahead. We did come in second out of 2. So anyway, it was surprisingly fast. It was vibrationally rough, but not a lot of like major G-shocks. So overall, I would say it was one of the better wooden roller coasters. Maybe the best pure wooden that I've ridden. I mean, I've done the Grizzly, I've done the Cyclone, rates really high for being historic, and there's a few others, but this one maintained a lot of speed, a lot of just I don't know, surprising fun elements. And again, for the wait time, to have 0 wait time to do that, yeah, absolutely. So who knows? Will I end up riding everything here? It's not out of the question. I don't think it'll happen, but at this point I think I'm dehydrating. I'm gonna maybe grab a outrageously priced drink and see what ride comes up next. Alright, so that was the Comet. It was not my intention. Oh, look at that. Can you see me? Yeah. Hands up. Old school. So tried to ride the Wild Mouse because I was there and the line was short. And then thunderstorms rolled in. They shut it down. Went to the gift shop. They opened it back up. I went back and got in line. They shut it back down again. So, they don't shut down the old ones. Here we go. See if you can see. There it goes. The Comet. 100 years old. I think that's an exit. Anyway, 100 years old. It was the one roller coaster in the park for over 40 years. And it's still fun. I take recommendations. I'm always eager to follow recommendations, and the girl in line at the Wild Mouse said this was her favorite because it was historic. And that's a thing for me too. So I did it, and I'm glad that I did it. Absolutely no wait once you got in there. They do the lines weird here, so it took a few minutes to get in. But of course, talking to strangers and all that, having a good time. So I think maybe the thunderstorms are passing, and I'm going to see what else I can get. This is number 7 out of 14. I will not get them all today, but more than I thought I would. All right, so Sky Rush. I think this is number 8. It is the tallest. There you go. You see all that? Yeah, the yellow track. There's like 3 of them twisted up here, but it is the tallest. I think he said 220 feet or something like that. It also has a Beyond 90 drop at the beginning. It is really fast and a different kind of violent. You know, most of the ones that are rough, they jerk you side to side. This one just vertically bouncing. Just felt like the whole track was rough. And I'm definitely feeling that. I don't think I could do that again. But again, knocked it off the list. I've got the tallest coaster. I've got the oldest coaster. I've got the Norwegian loop. I've done a lot of onlys and first and superlatives. And I have, 6 to go. I won't finish the list, but I have 6 to go. Let's see what else we can do. The Super Duper Looper. There's the station behind me. This is number 10, I think, out of 14. And I guess you could guess by its name, it goes upside down. Right there, that white loop that doesn't match any of the rest of the blue and black track. That's the loop. And then it kind of goes fast and shakes you a little bit. That is not it behind me. That's the Great Bear. There's a lot of them intertwined right here. Anyway, 10 of 14 down. All I can say is it goes upside down, and the line was really short. Not anything special. Candymonium, number 11 of 14. Name, Candy for some bubble-headed bleached blonde, and Monium for a song that Billy Idol did. Candy Moni. Anyway, this came with mixed reviews. It's one of the few that I can show you like almost the whole thing without getting others mixed in. Oh, here it comes. Whee! So again, mixed reviews, and I think it comes down to airtime, because this was not a bad ride in any sort of way. It is the second tallest, I believe, 2 feet shorter than the Sky Rush, but the climb was smooth, not too steep. They didn't like drag it out. They didn't make it feel like the thing was going to stop. So it wasn't bad. It was not violent at all. Lots of airtime, the kind of airtime you get with like Apollo's Chariot, and maybe a little more of that. So for people that really like it, I think this would be a fun ride. And I talked to one guy that he said this tied with the Wildcat Revenge for his favorite. Others didn't love it so much, but yeah, I'm kind of neutral on it. That I'm not a huge fan of the airtime, but it wasn't a bad ride. I have no objection to do it again if I had a reason. But let's just see. I got 3 more to go, and I don't know. I don't even remember what they are, but I think I've ridden a lot of the big ones, so maybe the lines will be short. We'll see. Okay, so the what did I just do? The coal racer or something like that. I don't even know. It was kind of a kid-friendly little thing, really short. You actually get 3 goes around on it. Surprisingly high lateral G's from that first turn, but not bad. No weight, and I think I've lost track. I've still got the Wild Mouse and the Jolly Rancher Remix, I think. So have I done 12, or am I forgetting one? We'll see. All right, I've checked back into the list. Just did the Trailblazer, the second oldest coaster here, and it definitely feels old school. Little boxy cars and simple lap restraint, but not a bad ride, and absolutely zero weight. And at this point, I do have the Jolly Rancher Remix, which is not far from here, and the Wild Mouse, which is just a bit beyond that. And that'll cover 14. Whether I do some other rides or something else, I'm really tempted to do another hot dog, but I think I shouldn't. And I've thought about some ice cream, but I'm thinking I'll be out of here before too long. Maybe I'd get some somewhere else. Whatever. Almost finished with a mission I did not intend to take on. Still in the station. Jolly Rancher Remix. Not my first boomerang coaster, but probably the best one. That middle section that with an inversion, it was a little different than what I've seen at other ones. There you can see the 2 terminal ends. But yeah, I did the one, I think it was called the Red Devil at Ghost Town in Maggie Valley, and I believe they had one at Six Flags New York up in Lake George. But this was the best of them, and this is number 13 out of 14. I wish I was like ending on the best one, but you don't want to like risk missing something good if it goes wrong. So on to the Wild Mouse.
I'm just gonna ask you. I have a question. Why? I have a question.
And the Wild Mouse. So one of the most cloned coasters ever. And I'm right in the midst of it, so you can see some of it up there at the top. So these are very open cars. You climb in, it does not stop. Everybody's climbing out, climbing in as it's moving through the station. Take you up to the top, these 180-degree bends up here with no banking. So you can see, I mean, it just feels like you're going to fly off the edge. That's the whole point, I think, of the ride, the Wild Mouse, is that insecurity, those lateral G's, the car itself feels like it's going to fly off the side. So anyway, but this one was no different than any other, so I can't say better or worse. Significant today because it's number 14 of 14. I did not plan this. I said at the beginning of the day I would never make all 14, but it's been overcast all day. Storms skirting the area. We had 2 thunderstorms that came through, shut down a few rides mid-afternoon, but it has kept the crowds down and it has kept the temperatures down, and so it's made it possible. It wasn't my plan, but by the time I hit about 10, I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I kind of wish I could have picked the order better, but it's been a day. Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna hit something else tame before I get out of here. A couple hours before the park closes. Feel like I should eat or drink something. I probably should get a drink now. Thanks for joining me on this mission, journey, whatever.
So that was it, and if you didn't catch it, my number one was the Wildcat Revenge. For the criteria that I have, and interestingly in this case, it seems like everyone almost agrees. I did finally catch one person who preferred Candemonium. There was another that said that it tied for them, and the person who said Candemonium said it because she said she liked the airtime. She liked to feel like out of her seat. So clear number one. As to what would be number two, it really depends on what you like. I mean, I do think there's something for the historic coasters. I love the fact that I rode the Cyclone and now the Comet, and so some really old ones. And there was another one at Lake George. I forgot the name of it, but it was ancient. So there's that. The Norwegian Loop was not life-changing, but it's unique to say that, hey, I've checked this off the list. I would not recommend the Great Bear. If you want to ride one of the B&M hanging coasters, do Alpengeist. Other than that, the Lightning Racer was surprising. I enjoyed that way more than I thought I would. And if you're not into coasters and you don't mind a little spinning, and I don't mean extreme, it's not twirling, it just rotates some. I really liked Laugh Tracks, and it doesn't seem like something that I would, but family friendly, mild to moderate, and I love the decor. I love the glow in the dark. I love the tribute to fun houses. So I promise some bonus features. I'm going to show the hot dog, and I really wish I could get these outside of there because I wanted to try all three, but I have hurt myself too many times overeating recently. I'm also going to throw in another bonus feature. You can tune out after the hot dog if you want, but I had way too much fun. In the line for Laugh Tracks, they had funhouse mirrors, and I had a lot of fun with that. So I'm just going to tack those on, and that'll be it. And sorry for this was completely unscripted, very minimal editing, so it rambles. But it was something new and different, and I just wanted to document it. Thanks for watching.
This Lightning Racer dog is really, really good. I don't know that it's $14 good, and neither is the drink. $6 something good. It's not even that big. But I'm not trying to spend $25 on an all-day drink that I'm about to carry the cup around. And it's an amusement park. You deal with it, right? I'm gonna finish this, and I may later on get that shawarma or whatever the other one was, and maybe the Jolly Rancher remix. Let's just do them all.